Beer TV. We've got a fusion beer for you tonight.
Exactly.
We've got Stone Brewing Company's Cali Belgique IPA.
Now,
so this is
basically, from what I understand, it's their IPA already, but it's brewed with Belgian yeast to give it kind of a different tang to it. So this 6.9.
Yeah, 6.9%. And this style of beer really is a very new style of beer.
Yep.
And I believe, is this one of the new ones up on the Brewers Association? Is it? I think it's a California Belgian or
the
American
the new
Belgian
styles?
style.
Yeah,
like that.
yeah, the American Belgian style.
This is one of the, I think West Coast really started kicking off like Belgian IPAs or Belgian Pale Ales, things like that. There has been true Belgian beers that have been brewed in a pale ale style for a really long time.
You know, you just Belgian
blonde. But American brewers weren't really doing that. They were brewing, you know, the Abbey ales and the doubles and the triples and things like that. But they weren't, you know, going to, you know, getting too heavy-handed with the hops. So,
and here in our West Coast hop culture, basically, you know, IPAs have reigned for a real long time, and after a while it gets a little played out. So people are like, what can we do to do that? To spice it up a little bit, to change it up. So, you know, yeast is one of the ingredients. You can take any kind of a recipe, the same malt bill, same whatnot, the same hops, and just use a different style of yeast and get a completely different beer out of it. So
yeast will completely change a beer.
Totally.
You know, it's night and day. I mean, you could have the same grain bill, like you said, the same hops. You put 5 different strains of yeast in the same beer, and you're gonna have 5 completely different beers.
Exactly. I mean, that's what makes the difference between a lager and an ale, or even these Belgians.
Even Belgians, you know, it's like East Coast, West Coast is even different too. Like Dogfish Head has a very unique strain of yeast. Stone has a very unique strain of yeast. They all have these really unique strains of yeast that make it's like a proprietary flavor that makes their beer stand out. And
that's one of the reasons why homebrewers really look for bottle-conditioned beers, because there's that little bit of yeast that's at the bottom, and if you're a homebrewer, you can capture that yeast.
Yeah.
You can just pour a little bit of malt extract in there, capture that, get that fermentation going again, capture that, and now you've got a proprietary yeast strain. So there you go.
That's good.
But yeah, definitely. We didn't get a whole lot of head on that one. It started off.
Not tons.
It started off pretty good,
and then
a
little bit, so
faded out. So yeah, let me kick it up a bit. But it's got a real nice golden straw, a little darker for straw. But yes, you think straw? Yes. Speak up, you're on camera, man. But it's very hazy, not very clear at all.
Yeah, it definitely has an unfiltered effect.
And when you agitate it, that foam really puffs up and gets that nice creamy white.
Yeah, it's a very pillowy head.
Yeah.
It's very small bubbles. It's, you know, got a nice protein bond going on. So
yeah, and it clings pretty good too. Get some lacing on that. So let's go for aroma.
The nose is floral. Some hops.
Yep.
You pick up that yeast.
It's got a bit of a spiciness to it too. You know, it's spicy.
It's more, for me, just off the nose, I would say this beer would be more towards like a golden ale style, more than even like a triple. Sometimes the triples kind of get that sweetness.
Yeah, but you don't find those hop notes in a Belgian triple.
Right. You don't really find too much of that.
No. Well, let's give it a taste.
Let's taste it.
See how it goes. Cheers.
Cheers.
Oh, wow.
Very
nice.
Very clean, refreshing beer, but got very complex too.
Yeah, it is. At first, to me, the malt sweetness, that malt yeast, the Belgian sweetness and the Belgian yeast really kind of came out, and then the hops came back, and they kind of start to dance. You know, they start to play around a little bit, and it shifts from, you know, the Belgian. Imagine like a Belgian blonde ale with that sweetness, and then hops that come in intermittently. You know what I mean?
Yeah, see, I was thinking this beer was like regular Stone IPA just brewed with Belgian strain of yeast,
right.
but I think the hop characteristic is a lot different.
Also, I think they probably use some Belgian malts, to add to that sweetness, because that's one other thing about doing a Belgian style. It's not just the yeast, it's also the mashing temperature that you mash your grain at, because that's what gives you the sweetness, the non-fermentable sugars that make Belgian beers taste sweet. So they had to do a bit of if they didn't use specific Belgian malts, they at least had to adjust their mashing, temperatures.
Yeah, because it has a really nice body to it.
It does. Sweet up front, fading to hop bitterness, and the finish is almost all hops.
It does say IPA, so
yeah. So it's definitely an IPA.
It's not over the top hop though, like a lot of the West Coast IPAs are really hoppy beers.
No, this isn't like
this. This
IPAs.
is hoppy.
Oh yeah.
I mean, hops are definitely present, but it's not real over the top, like where you're just like, wow, cotton mouth. So.
Yeah. It's not like 100 IBUs or anything like that, but I think it's really unique, and they're two flavors that a lot of beer drinkers and craft beer aficionados might be used to, but not used to together. So it's kind of like a Reese's peanut butter cup beer. Mm-hmm. You got your hops in my Belgian. You got your Belgian in my hops.
Exactly. Yeah, I think these beers are also really hard to master too. I think if you go too hoppy, they can get really astringent and taste really medicinal, because that yeast can get really funky with hops. I know I've tried some homebrewed some beers kind of similar to this, and man, it's like, whoa, I kind of overdid it on the hops. So, the beers came out really funky. I drank it.
Yeah, you always drink your homebrew.
But it was just, it wasn't quite as tamed as this.
Yeah, this is definitely really well crafted, really great craft beer. So I think Stone really hit it out.
It's so great. The one thing about this beer is drinking a beer like this, the aroma as you're drinking it is wonderful. You get this real floral, flowery aroma, and then you get this nice, subtle hop bitterness.
Right.
Those two just balance each other out really well.
So what I think they're going to do next, now we've seen them take the IPA, and now they've made the IPA black, and they also made the IPA Belgian.
Yeah.
So now what we're going to see is we're going to be waiting for the sublimely self-righteous Belgian.
Yes.
That's what we're going to get next. I'm predicting it.
Odd years, right?
You hear it, yeah. So, sublimely self-righteous Belgian, I feel, is on the way, which will be...
You can do it, Stone. We know you can do
pretty
it.
fucking awesome.
Yeah, that'd be sick.
So, but we've also got their Old Guardian Belgians waiting
That'll
in
be
the
coming
wings.
up. Yes,
So
that's
that'll
on
be
deck.
interesting to
That'll
see
be coming up soon.
what they'll do with that one. So,
Yeah.
so they're on a whole Belgian trip. So there we go. Excellent.
All right.
So
Well, cheers, man.
Cheers. Another great one by Stone, and keep drinking great American craft beer.
That's right.